Hey, open up. Locked out, I pounded on the immovable door, shouting for entry. All I could hear from the other side was my husband's laughter. Please, just don't come out. Lose some weight, fatty. As his presence faded and the sound of the front door closing echoed, I was left in despair. He was off on a 4-day affair trip. Maybe I should have confronted him sooner. I won't forgive him. For the sake of our child, I will find a way out. My name is Emily. I married Aaron, whom I met through a mutual acquaintance. Drawn to Aaron's jovial and kind nature, and he, seemingly to my contrasting personality, our marriage began smoothly. However, the world was caught up in a sauna craze. Aaron was obsessed with saunas. He made it a routine to stop by a sauna before coming home every day. It makes me feel refreshed and helps with work the next day. Watching Aaron continue his routine, I reluctantly agreed, not wanting to forbid him. But one day, Aaron proposed a significant purchase. How about we get a sauna for the house? Shocked, I listened as he explained with sparkling eyes. It doesn't have to cost tens of thousands. Having a sauna at home means I can come back sooner, and Emily, you could use it too, right? Apparently, there were home saunas available for around $500. At 5 months pregnant, I was bewildered by Aaron's continued sauna visits. Having a sauna at home might allow us some couples time. Once the sauna arrived, it was quite large. Our home was spacious for two, but I found it intrusive. Yet, Aaron was delighted, often using it upon returning home. Considering the cost of membership saunas, owning one seemed justifiable. My concerns with Aaron weren't only about the sauna. It was the harassment. It started after I became pregnant. Photos of Aaron with another woman, likely taken in a hotel, were sent to our mailbox, along with dead frogs and insects. Sometimes, live bugs were mixed in, indicating they were all alive when placed. The sight made me faint, drawing concern from neighbors. Yet, I couldn't identify the woman in the photos. There were instances when I got injured opening letters containing razor blades. Becoming a housewife after marriage, the fear of being abandoned during pregnancy kept me from confiding in Aaron, leading to anxious days. Even when injured by a razor, I lied about it being a paper cut, a nonsensical cover-up. The harassment escalated, coinciding with Aaron's increasing overtime. Alone and anxious, my belly grew. As the birth approached and my weight gain exceeded recommendations, the hospital advised exercise. Aaron ridiculed my appearance, now vastly different from before pregnancy. Even during pregnancy, can't you manage a little? Always sitting. Move around some. My sitting was partly due to dwelling on Aaron's infidelity. Despite the anxiety, there was nowhere else to go. Even after giving birth, if I were to get divorced, I'd end up going back to my parents' house. Being self-employed, I was worried I might not get any help. Originally slim, the weight of my belly from the 8th month of pregnancy onwards caused me back pain. It seemed like Aaron was still meeting with a woman who appeared to be his mistress, and the harassment had been getting worse. Seeing me space out, he must have thought I was just being lazy. Gradually, Aaron's behavior became worse, and his irritation was obvious. It was the beginning of the Memorial Day weekend. The TV was buzzing with news of people traveling home for the holiday. Aaron's company was also closed, but he seemed to be in high spirits the day before, as if he was going somewhere. You know, once the baby's born, you won't be able to just go somewhere alone. I was thinking of going on a trip. What Aaron said was clearly a lie. Are you going on a trip with her? What? Her? Which one? You suspect something? Without any proof? Well, even if there was something, you wouldn't be able to find it anyway. He cut off the conversation one-sidedly. I was furious with myself for being so indecisive. I couldn't forgive Aaron for looking down on me to such an extent, and at this point, I decided to divorce. Worrying about what comes next wasn't an option. Once I steeled myself, I felt like I could do anything. But on the morning of the day itself, Aaron suddenly woke me up by hitting me and said, "Hey, you better get to work on losing weight during this Memorial Day weekend. Get up now," and he suddenly grabbed my arm and dragged me out. What are you doing? Let go. My resistance was futile, and he took me to a sauna. Aren't you ashamed of getting so fat? It's disgusting just to look at you. And yet, you don't even try to move. As he berated me, he shoved me into the sauna and turned on the switch. Hey! Open this! While I panicked, Aaron apparently locked the door from the outside. It was a very primitive lock, but it was enough to keep me locked and alone. Once this lock was engaged, it couldn't be opened from the inside. However, the temperature could be raised from the outside, and gradually, the sauna's temperature increased. Please don't come out. Lose some weight, fatty. With a sickening smile, Aaron disappeared from the other side of the door. Then, I heard the sound of the front door closing. Aaron had left me locked in the sauna and gone on a 3-night, 4-day trip. The temperature in the sauna kept rising, and I started to sweat. I knew that pregnant women shouldn't enter saunas. I had told Aaron that I couldn't take long baths, but he seemed not to have listened. Or perhaps he thought my being overweight was more important than our child's life. Who do you think I'm protecting my body for? For whose sake do you think I'm enduring the discomfort of not using the sauna? Who do you think I became a stay-at-home wife for? I should have confronted him about the affair and the harassment sooner and divorced him. I will never forgive him. For my child, I will find a way out of here. Panicking won't solve anything. I tried to break the window in the door, but I couldn't smash it with my strength. Looking around the sauna, I found a small box attached to the wall. Inside, there were knobs. Upon closer inspection, there were knobs for temperature control and a timer. This must be it. I set the temperature and the timer to the minimum as much as possible and endured. I was relieved it wasn't for a very long duration. I think it was good that the day was relatively cool. 4 days after my escape, I was hidden in the shadow of the potted plants on the balcony. From there, I could see Aaron returning home cheerfully. As soon as he opened the front door, he seemed to notice something was off. Wow! What's this smell? Panicking, he rushed into the room where the sauna was. Hey! What Aaron saw when he opened the sauna was a bag stuffed with garbage. And you rush in after locking it? Startled by my voice coming from behind, Aaron jumped. Why would you put garbage in the sauna? The smell will never go away. Thought you were worried when you rushed in. What if that garbage had been me, unable to unlock the door? Well, you got out, didn't you? How did you manage that? I used this. I showed him a smartwatch. It was something I always wore, especially since it was my first child, for the peace of mind to send simple messages to registered contacts. While enduring the residual heat after turning off the switch, I had contacted my brother who lived nearby. He found it odd and came to help me with a spare key he had. It was fortunate it was Memorial Day weekend. It might not have worked out if it had been a weekday. Learning of what happened, my brother was furious. He helped me plot revenge. Tell me, what would you have done if I couldn't unlock the door? If I hadn't known about the timer? If I hadn't noticed the temperature control? I'm asking you. Faced with my unprecedented anger, Aaron was at a loss for words. No, I didn't mean any harm. You were worried about losing weight, right? The sauna was supposed to be a good thing, wasn't it? Not meaning any harm doesn't stop people from dying. Don't you know that at your age? My brother, who had quietly stood beside me, responded as Aaron's smile stiffened. Being exposed to high heat is bad during pregnancy. I've been cutting my beloved baths short, didn't I explain? You might prefer slender women, but by forcing me to do this during pregnancy, you nearly killed our child, you know? By the time I said this, Aaron's face had turned pale, realizing the gravity of his actions. Aaron didn't hate children, in fact, he was looking forward to it. The cheating didn't make sense either. Did he think it wouldn't be discovered? Maybe he never thought his mistress was harassing me. Sorry, I thought. I forgot to turn off the timer. And what then? Even if the timer went off, I couldn't have gotten out. Sorry. Too late for sorry. My brother grabbed Aaron by the collar and shoved him into the sauna. Then, I dumped the garbage bag I was holding on Aaron and quickly closed the sauna door.
Hey, what are you doing? I'm apologizing here, help me, it stinks. Hey, did you turn on the switch? Let me out.
Hey, I've been harassed by your mistress all this time. As Aaron stood dumbfounded in the sauna, I started revealing all the harassment I had been subjected to, showing him the photos that had been sent. Dumping the garbage in the sauna was the same thing done to me by the mistress. She had dumped garbage in the yard, and Aaron was dumbfounded to learn that the razor cuts I had were her doing. I picked up Aaron's phone and called the mistress.
Hello?
It's Aaron's wife. Right now, your precious boyfriend is locked in our home sauna with some garbage. Better hurry before he becomes one with that trash. Oh, he's pretty much trash now anyway. Would you come to help? Not my problem anymore. The mistress was confused on the phone, uttering and what, but I hung up and started preparing to return to my parents' house. My brother helped with the preparations, and the move was completed smoother than expected. Meanwhile, Aaron was causing a commotion inside the sauna.
It's hot, help me. You're not seriously leaving me here, are you?
I'm divorcing you. You'd better get along well with her.
Divorce? No, I was looking forward to having the child.
I ignored him and opened the front door. Screams of madness could be heard from inside. He kept saying it was hot, but the sauna's timer had already turned off. The temperature inside the sauna shouldn't have been that high anymore. It was because Aaron was panicking and thrashing about. It might have been somewhat hot due to the sauna, but thrashing about in such a confined space would make anyone feel hot. I wouldn't do anything that could endanger a life. Before going back to my parents' house, I installed hidden cameras as evidence of his infidelity. Aaron seemed to sense something was off. I could see him sitting dumbfounded in the cooled-down sauna. However, the mistress never came, despite his wait. I found the mistress's name from Aaron's text messages. Messages filled with hearts were only sent to her. And to think, the lock's code was always my birthday. Using this number while doing all this, to Aaron, my birthday was just a number. I expected a cozy scene after being rescued. I waited while watching remotely on my smartphone, but she never came by evening. So, I ended up informing my in-laws about the situation earlier than planned and asked them to rescue Aaron. Upon hearing the story, my in-laws apologized profusely over the phone. When I mentioned divorce, they tearfully agreed it was for the best. Soon after, my in-laws rushed to Aaron's aid, and he was rescued, reeking and scolded heavily by them. We decided to proceed with the divorce. By that time, I had already given birth, and Aaron insisted he didn't want to separate, seeing the child. After what he did to our child, I couldn't believe he had the audacity to say that.
Weren't you the one who liked slim girls? That's why you said all those things to me, right? As you can see, I'm still overweight even after giving birth. You don't like that, do you? That's not it. I don't want to be apart from you. Custody tends to favor the mother, right? After what you did to this child, you have the nerve to talk about custody. I can't trust someone who locks people up and cheats to take care of a child. But leaving you alone with the child? Who knows what you would do?
Finally, Aaron signed the divorce papers. I entrusted the claims for alimony and child support to a lawyer. Locking someone in a sauna and throwing away the key could lead to assault charges, so I initiated legal action. When I asked the lawyer if I was doing the same by locking him in, they said the major difference was that I called for help and left. The mistress, it turned out, worked in a different department at the same company. She was actually dating a single colleague of my husband, who was her main interest, but this incident blew her cover, leading to the cancellation of their marriage plans. Moreover, living with her parents, a certified male revealed everything to them, resulting in estrangement. Aaron also learned about the harassment I endured from her. Everything was out in the open. At work, she was known as a cute and popular girl among both men and women. She didn't come to rescue Aaron because she had planned trips with him in the first half of the holidays and with her actual boyfriend in the second half. They went quite far, so she couldn't come to help. This caused a huge mess between her and Aaron, though I don't know the details. The reason she harassed me was out of spite from a fight with her boyfriend, thinking that if it got out, they would divorce, and she could move on to Aaron, a shallow plan. The escalation of harassment could mean they were a couple prone to constant arguing. In the end, both Aaron and the mistress found it difficult to stay at the company and resigned. But seeing that alimony continues to be paid, they must be working somewhere. A two-faced disownment from the in-laws due to the cruelty he inflicted on me and the fact that he lost the chance to see his grandchild. The house we used to live in was made available to us through my in-laws, and now someone else resides there. That someone is probably unaware of the sauna inside the house, or the kitchen waste that was scattered around. I've since returned to my childhood home to help out with the family's florist business. I often regret not divorcing sooner, given how well I'm being treated now. My parents scolded me for not coming to them sooner. Due to their age and the need to manage the store, they've entrusted me with tasks they were previously unable to perform. These tasks include delivering potted plants and flowers by car. I've always preferred potted plants over flowers, so I also rent them out to places like hospitals. Since the hospital staff are too busy to care for the plants themselves, I occasionally go in for maintenance. My brother is married with children now and has become a kind, family-oriented father. It's been about 6 years since those times, and my child is now in elementary school. We settled the confinement case out of court, and Aaron was the one who had to pay the settlement. He seemed so small and defeated when we met with the lawyers, his back hunched over. He's truly struggling with alimony and child support, wearing worn-out clothes and not having the luxury to care about his appearance. When he apologized to my child, saying, "I never imagined things would turn out this way from what I thought were minor actions. If I hadn't done what I did, maybe I could have been recognized as a father. I was truly foolish. I'm sorry," tears almost came to my eyes. During visitations, he showers the child with affection, trying to make up for the past. Perhaps he's deluding himself, but he might be hoping for reconciliation. But even giving him the benefit of the doubt, that's never going to happen.